They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Blocked out of my Facebook.
You got blocked out of your Facebook?
You have your phone for code later?
I think so. Hi, I'm James Wesley. This is Seth Brodetsky. Welcome to a very special Stars in the House.
I want to post on my Facebook. That's why I'm trying to get back on. I got locked out. Anyway, normally we do fundraising for Actors Fund every single night. However, we're going to fundraise for one of our pals' Big Fat Theater, which is in Syracuse.
That's right.
It's called Redhouse. It's my friend Hunter Foster, who I met doing... And his sister Sutton is in the show, and I met Sutton doing Grease as well, plus a big bevy of stars. So we have some printed copy which we're going to read.
Yes.
And we'll add our own sass.
That's right. Hunter wrote us a script which we're going to read. Yes, tonight we are indeed thrilled to present Ain't It Grand, which is the annual fundraiser for the Redhouse Art Center in Syracuse, New York. Yeah. Redhouse is celebrating its 16th year of bringing theater and education to Central New York.
Quality theater and education in Central New York. You missed the adjective.
Well, that's a given with Hunter Foster as the artistic director, Seth.
I like the ass kissing.
Go ahead.
Since moving into the new state-of-the-art facility and former Sibley's department store, lingerie for free when they see an elevator, Redhouse has become an integral part of the resurgence of downtown Syracuse. This is a big deal. It's so important to support your local theater. We totally agree with this. Here's the deal. Local theaters, yes, they lift your spirits, but they also completely support all the businesses around them. So if these local theaters go down, the restaurants around them aren't going to be there anymore. The parking garages around them, like everything goes down. So you've got to support your local theater, and that's why we're supporting Redhouse. So it's so important to support your local theater, especially now when the theater thrives. It's true, the economy and well-being of the surrounding communities thrive as well. And by donating and giving to your local theater,
which you can do, by the way, at theredhouse.org. theredhouse.org. Someone has already donated. We already got a donation before the show even started. You can forward that receipt to donations@starsinthehouse.com, and Hunter Foster is going to be on the other side of tonight's show live, and maybe he'll read your donations. Anyway, it is really important to donate and give to your local theater, and tonight it is Redhouse. But we're also hoping that it'll support many of their outreach and educational programs.
I'm keep reading. Wait, where did you go?
I went right there.
I literally don't know where you are. This is him. I'm right here.
That's so not true.
You have to literally go right here.
Right. You're supposed to be paying attention.
Oh,
I'm being very casual. Yes, Seth?
Because we're literally streaming to Facebook, and I thought we were streaming to Joe Biden's page. Because we've done an event for Joe Biden. But I realized now that Jen Cody has Joe Biden's picture as her.
You're right.
I was really trying to get it off. I'm like, why is Joe Biden
getting
money for this?
So funny.
That's why I was freaking out. But okay, anyway.
Okay, now it makes sense.
There's no better thrill than seeing a young person's life change when they introduce to the arts. It's true. Young people seeing community theater is a huge, huge deal. And that's what Redhouse is all about, making a difference. So tonight you're going to hear the Redhouse story, its growth, and its future with some amazing musical guests and hosted by Redhouse favorites and Love Boat legends.
Isn't that the truth? Also known as Gopher and Isaac, Fred Grandy, and Ted Lange. So come on board.
Wait, Ted Lange?
Lange, did I say Lange?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ted.
Like the back of my doggy. We know Fred Grandy because we love his daughter
Mariah, who's on tonight's show, by the way.
Best singers ever.
That's right.
Ted Lange, of course, we grew up with both of them.
Thank you,
Seth.
Seth.
I have to say this because this is our cue to begin.
Yes, this is right. So come aboard. We're expecting. Wow, we can sing?
It's come aboard.
Can you play this?
Soon we'll be making each other up.
That's great, Seth.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't. Anyway, I grew up in the 70s. Can't play that. Anyway.
Come aboard. We're expecting you. Here's Ain't It Grand. Jonah?
Wait, Jonah was like,
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Kushnier. This pandemic has had a devastating effect on our lives, our well-being, and our economy. But theater people are resourceful. And when we're met with a challenge, we've got a knack for pulling together and using adversity as an opportunity to educate, to inspire, to grow, to connect, and to support. Tonight is a celebration of what Redhouse has accomplished over its 16-year period with a hopeful eye towards the future. We'd like to thank the Syracuse Specialty Surgery Center of Central New York for their generous support in making tonight possible. And all of you out there who have generously donated to Redhouse and to the arts. And now, on with the show.
Good evening. This is Ted Lange, and I'm coming to you live from Los Angeles, the city of the angels. And welcome to Ain't It Grand, the annual
The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Stay focused.
Yeah, right. Well, listen, tonight we celebrate Redhouse and its 16-year history of providing memorable theater to downtown Syracuse. From its humble little beginnings to, can you see it? Right here.
Yes.
Theater at Southwest Street, number 201, all the way up to its brand new state-of-the-art facility on South Salina and the old Sibley's department store building. Redhouse has now become a staple of the arts in Central New York.
Well, and the very first production that opened this brand spanking new theater was the hit musical La Cage aux Folles, starring Redhouse favorite Steve Hayes as Albend.
That's right.
And here tonight is the incomparable Steve Hayes.
Hi, everybody. It's Steve Hayes, and I'm doing this for the Redhouse Arts Center. They asked me if I would reminisce a little bit about my career, and I had done my one-person show, Raised by Warner Brothers, born in Syracuse, up there about 2 years ago. So I thought I would talk about being raised in the Syracuse area. I'm from New Woodstock, which is out near Cazenovia. And of course, I was raised in Syracuse. I went to everything in Syracuse. I watched all the children's programs. I watched, Monster Movie Matinee. I watched Baron Damone. I watched Magic Toy Shop when I was a little kid, obsessively. I was obsessed with that little girl, Marilee, Marilee at the Magic Toy Shop. She was about this big, like a Barbie doll. And every week they'd go, Marilee's wardrobe from the Junior Miss Department of the Addis Company. And when I went to kindergarten, my kindergarten teacher, after about a week, called my mother up and said, well, Stevie's doing really well, but he keeps saying every week that a new dog of his got hit by a car. And then he'll say that all of his wardrobe is from the Junior Miss Department at the Addis Company. So that ended that. We couldn't watch Magic Toy Shop anymore. Then I was on this thing called 1 O'Clock Scholar when I was in 2nd grade, right? And we had to do this thing. I had made these clays. And by that time, I had developed a tic. I used to do this all the time because I thought my eyelashes were sticking together. And it was, please. So my mother said to me, if you do that on this thing, all your relatives are coming to see this on Sunday morning. And if you do this, you're in so much trouble. So I went out to tape the show. I remember it was Channel 5, I think, and we got out there. And I was trying so hard. I was backstage and I kept going. So I would get it out of my system, right? And I came out and the guy said, so Stevie, and the cameraman said, hey, kid, what's this? Stop it. So, okay. So I'm sitting there like this, and I'm thinking, I'm concentrating so hard. And I described it. Well, it's a clay circus that I made. Really? You made this all yourself? Yes, I did. Well, no, my class people, we all did it. I could feel it coming up. And finally, we got through it. We got through the whole thing. And I thought, wow, I'm golden. I'm going to be a star. We went home. All my relatives come home on Sunday. They're all around the television. My mother is like a chicken, as always. Well, he was asked of everybody else in his class. He's only in 2nd grade. Nick Kroll, he's been giving puppet shows for a long time. He has those puppets that Sherry Lewis had. And we're really proud of him. And he's got that beautiful soprano voice where he just sings everywhere. And let's just watch it. Let's see the program. Comes on. They go, and here's little Stevie Hayes from the Woodstock Central School. And he's going to talk about Stevie, what is this circus? I said, well, it's a circus that... And I did it. I thought my mother was going to go through the roof. So by the time I was in like 6th grade, we started going to movies. So my parents didn't like going to movies very much. We dragged them to the DeWitt Drive-In to see El Cid, and it rained, and we had to sit in the car. And you know how long that movie is, And my father said at the end of it, that movie was so long, the kid in front of me grew up. And we watched this whole movie. We'd have to sit in the car and the windshield wipers go back and forth and back and forth. So by the time we left, we were all going like this because it was 4 hours. I thought Chuck Heston was never going to die. Anyway, we did have a school trip to go see out in Shoppingtown, where all of the big roadshow movies came to Shoppingtown, and our class got to go see The Sound of Music, which was fine, except it traumatized me because I was only like 11 years old and I still had a boy soprano voice, and I thought that I came home and I cried, and my mother said, what's the matter with you? I said, you've made me sing Climb Every Mountain, haven't you? You've made me sing that song. She said, well, yes, there's nothing wrong with singing that song. I said, yes, but in the movie, it's sung by a nun. I'm going to have to be a nun. I'm going to have to be. My next door neighbor heard my mother say, you cannot be a nun. Go outside and play. I loved La Cage aux Folles, and I had the honor of opening the Redhouse Theater with La Cage aux Folles. Well, my brilliant costume designer, Raven Ong, climbed up, Raven Ong called me up, and he said, Stephen, it's Raven. I said, oh, Raven, how are you? He said, I'm fine. Stephen, what's your gown size? I said, what's my gown size? I said, Raven, get a tarp and a pair of scissors and go from there. I said, what are you calling me about this for? I said, I'm having enough trouble. I'm at Home Depot trying to buy makeup. But I got through that. I had 5 wonderful people helping me to change backstage because I had to do these really quick changes during this thing and, sing and dance at the same time. I know. But somehow it came off. They liked it. But I was backstage one night and I had to get into this costume. And my little dresser stepped up to me and said, Stephen, go out there and be brilliant. We couldn't get the zipper up in the back of your gown. You've got no back in the back of your gown. So I said, Now, in this particular number, I had to come out and be Marilyn Monroe and Betty Davis and Mae West all in one number. So I'm coming out and I'm doing all these imitations and I'm walking backwards. I walked in heels backwards up the stairs. They never knew it. That's one of my greatest achievements. That, and once when I visited my friend Steve Adana in Los Angeles, I'd only been there 45 minutes and I got him laughing so hard, he spit orange juice out of his nose in a restaurant. And I always thought I was quite proud. It's the little things, And then the Redhouse asked me to come back and direct Almost Maine in January of 2019. And that was a wonderful experience. I had a brilliant cast, and I just absolutely loved the fact that they did that for me. The Redhouse offers amazing theater. They have brought so many talented local people and professional people together. They always do stellar productions. They are absolutely wonderful to work with. They redid that Sibley's building into the most gorgeous theater on Salina Street. It's absolutely spectacular. And Hunter Foster has put together wonderful programs for people to do there and has a top flight staff. Please give often and generously to the Redhouse Arts Center. I'm Steve Hayes. I'm a proud alumnus of the Redhouse Arts Center. Have a good day, stay safe, and here's to theater.
Well, that was Steve Hayes. You know, that guy has so many characters. When he does a one-man show, he brings his own chorus. But you know, when you're working on a show, whether you're writing a play like my distinguished colleague, Ted Lange, or you're doing anything creative, sometimes it's best to narrow your theme down to a single word, to be as specific as possible. So, for example, West Side Story might be about love, and Hello Dolly might be about life, and Fiddler on the Roof might be about
Tradition.
and Schitt's Creek would be about
Easy, big fella, easy.
So tonight we thought we'd do the same thing for this show.
Yes. Now, the past 6 months have been challenging, especially for those of us in the arts. But sometimes you have to take setbacks in life and use it. That's what artists do. I mean, even Shakespeare wrote one of his greatest plays during a plague, and I wrote a play about that called Shakespeare Over My Shoulder, which you can find on YouTube.
I've seen it and I like it. But the word that we have chosen for tonight is opportunity.
Yes, and here to talk about opportunity is Education Director Marguerite Michel.
Hi, I'm Marguerite, or as many also know me, Peggy. My journey with Redhouse began when the artistic team was looking to begin education and outreach programs. This May, the education department and myself will be celebrating 10 years of bringing arts-based learning to children throughout Central New York. Over those years, I have seen firsthand what arts-based learning gives our young people, all because the Redhouse made it a priority to give students opportunity, an opportunity for arts education. In 2012, Redhouse wanted to continue our work of supporting and engaging the community with the development of its education department and opened its doors for the first time as an arts educational facility with Rock Camp.
The Redhouse is one of the most creative and open and focused on providing the best environment for any type of student, any level of expertise.
We are working in conjunction with Clary Middle School, which is right next door, to put on the Alice in Wonderland. Some of the kids at Elms are performing in it. Another group of kids, which I have, are working on the set design and other props. And so they get to work with them and incorporate their designs and see these other kids from another school, which is really great to see that kind of come together.
It shows kids that there are people who have the same passions as they do, who are growing and as committed still in their formative years as I am. Just being an inspiration and just showing them that outside of, what they already do, that, there's like a whole life to be lived, and there's like so much that you can do with what you enjoy.
More kids are open to songwriting. More kids are open to writing poems, being more expressive. It's an amazing social skill. You learn how to communicate with people. You learn how to create with people. You learn how to discuss things that you might agree with somebody and you might disagree, and you learn how to come to a conclusion.
I've definitely seen a lot of these kids be more creative because of this program. A lot of the kids that were more quiet and reserved in the beginning have now been able to input their ideas and give voice to something that they may not have otherwise been able to do.
Redhouse is amazing, and the opportunities we can provide these artists is just a phenomenal thing, and especially for being in downtown Syracuse, it's second to none, honestly.
With the start of Red Ed, Redhouse was now able to empower youth to become independent citizen artists and provide process-oriented, pre-professional training. Through coursework focused on practical skills and technique in dance, theater, and music, students were given opportunities to develop their craft while celebrating what made them unique.
Arts education is very important to both of us. As a school principal, I have found that having the opportunity for my students to engage in the arts brings out intelligence that is non-traditional and that may have been left untapped.
And for me, it's helped me discover a lifelong passion and learn what it truly means to be myself.
Thank you, Redhouse.
but we wanted to do more. By 2014, Redhouse's education department had grown exponentially, with dozens of camp offerings throughout the year, and quickly began its partnership with Parks and Recreation, with the chief goal of providing an opportunity for every student in our community to be able to have these experiences. As the education department continued its growth in providing arts enrichment activities in the form of extracurricular activities, we wanted to do even more. With the mission of ensuring access to opportunity and arts enrichment for all students, we began our largest partnership with Syracuse City School District. By using arts as the vehicle to reinforce Common Core learning standards in the classroom, over 3,000 students during their school day received enrichment that focused on creation, reading, writing, design, math, in tandem with learning various different art forms in the process. By providing arts-based educational opportunities directly in school buildings, we began our work to close the opportunity gap that exists for many students in our community.
It's amazing to be a part of this Redhouse family. I've had the opportunity to work within education as well as the theater arts programs here at Redhouse. What does arts education mean to us here? It means that we have the opportunity to grow and impact a community, impact our youth. And that is the most amazing thing that we can do right now, especially during these unprecedented times, and to be able to continue to have this opportunity to do so. I've been a part of the Redhouse family for about 3 years now, and I must say I've enjoyed this journey with Redhouse, being able to artistically, being able to express myself, as well as work with the youth here in Syracuse.
Moving into March of 2020, amidst COVID-19, we continued our efforts to deliver content to our students. Although things looked a bit different, we were still able to engage and empower our young people through the arts. We are now proud affiliates of the Arts Education Partnership, a national network of more than 100 organizations dedicated to advancing arts education, committed to making high-quality arts education accessible to all U.S. students.
I'd like to just take a couple seconds of your time to talk about why arts in education is so important, what opportunities the Redhouse can provide to all children in Central New York, and just a little bit more about how we all can come together and support our children, irrespective of zip code. Because too often in this community and across the country, enrichment opportunities, arts education are very dependent on the neighborhood and the school district that a child attends. Because let's face it, funding in education is not equitable in New York. The Redhouse looks to even the playing field. So whether it's our in-house and virtual classes and camps where students and children get a chance to perform, design, develop, before I was an administrator, I was a physics teacher. And of course, how can you be a physics teacher and not have Albert Einstein as one of your idols? So here's what even Einstein said about the arts. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Thank you for your support of the Redhouse. Thank you for the support of the children around Central New York. Continue to support the Redhouse so that we can continue to give all children, irrespective of zip code, an opportunity to experience the arts. Thank you very much.
Nothing like live theater. The sound of the orchestra as it begins to tune the murmur of an audience, the sound of pages being turned in programs. The anticipation of the lights begin to dim. The actors take their cues and the stage roars to life. Everyone at Redhouse and theaters across the country are working hard to bring back live theater, but we need your help.
You know, this community has already been tremendously generous. As a matter of fact, we just completed our challenge grant where your donation were matched dollar for dollar from $20,000 up to $40,000. And we thank you 1,000 times.
But we still need your support. So please go to theredhouse.org and donate.
And remember, by supporting Redhouse, you are also supporting new artists. In this past year, Redhouse developed 5 new plays and musicals.
Yes, Trophy Room and Bisland and Bly, which premiered at our New Works Festival this past January.
And who can forget Syracuse Christmas Carol, which had its world premiere this last Christmas. And in the role of Ebenezer Scrooge, TV legend Fred Grandy.
That couldn't have been much of a stretch for you.
What do you mean? I'm not a tightwad.
Loan me $1.
Moving on. This last summer, Redhouse produced 2 workshops of brand new musicals. The first was All Dressed Up and Nowhere to Go, and the second was Girl in the Red Dress by our next artist, singer-songwriter Maia Sharp.
Hey, my name is Maia Sharp, and I had the pleasure of working with Hunter and the Redhouse gang last summer, workshopping a play that I'm involved with called The Girl in the Red Dress, so it was only apropos that we got to do it there at the Redhouse. Hey to all of them. Here's a song from that.
On your mind, as long as it's on their minds too, 'cause it isn't in their hearts to find a little room for some other point of view. La 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 la. In any time I think that I might my
Hi, I'm Hunter Foster, the artistic director for the Redhouse Art Center. When I was 13 years old, I performed in my first play, Your Good Man, Charlie Brown, and I knew from that moment on that I would spend my whole life in the theater. Now, when I began my first season here as an artistic director at Redhouse, obviously I had no idea it'd be cut short by a global pandemic, bad reviews maybe. But if there's one thing that I've learned through all of this is that artists and theater people are resilient, and we are not going down without a fight. Opportunity.
How does Redhouse inspire me? I'm inspired to dream. I'm inspired to think past what's in the script. I'm inspired to know that theater has the power to bring together people from all walks of life. And I'm inspired to know and to believe that theater has the power to touch and to change lives.
Throughout history, the theater has been a place of inspiration for artists and audiences. It has been a beacon of hope during dark times. In London during World War II, performances continued as German bombs exploded all around them. After 9/11, Broadway performers returned to their stages just 2 days after that fateful attack. And William Shakespeare, having grown up living through various plagues, possibly created his most important work during quarantine.
And I would say by the very definition of the word inspire, to fill someone with the urge to do something. I think that happens in front of and behind the curtains at Redhouse. You know, each day I was filled with the love that comes from being in a good community. And it urged me to find the healing and where I could evolve in our communal art. Because we were able to ground our work in truth. That pours into the audience, that fills the audience, and it allows them to leave with the urge to do something.
A live performance provides an emotional experience that cannot be duplicated on film or video. It's that human connection that audiences have with their story, their characters, and the audiences around them that makes the theater so unique. And that live element means every performance is its own special event. No performance will ever be exactly the same. At Redhouse, we believe the theater experience doesn't just begin and end from curtain to curtain. Whether it's our pre-show talks where we discuss the themes and the history of the play, or the after-show talkbacks where we invite the audience to hear directly from our actors and creatives, we believe it's here that the power of theater can go beyond the footlights.
How does Redhouse offer the opportunity to inspire? I think that the answer to that is, for me, is the opportunity to learn. A lot of times in professional theater, you go in, you want to do a good job, and you ride off into the sunset to your next gig. But at Redhouse, I get to learn from the other artists and from the community. And that really inspires me to continue to work there. Thank you.
This past January, we began our New Works Festival, where we chose one new play and one new musical and invited the writers to Syracuse so they could workshop their piece. Each play was developed, rehearsed, and staged over a 2-week period, ending with a free performance. With programs such as this, we hope to inspire the new generation of playwrights and songwriters. It's here where the next generation of artists are found. And it's up to us to nurture their creativity so they may grow as artists and reach their full potential.
How does Redhouse offer opportunities to inspire? Well, in moments of crisis and stress, we can find courage, inspiration, hope, and camaraderie in the arts. Theater is a collaborative art form with writers, producers, directors, choreographers, lighting designers, stage managers. When all those pieces coincide, that's when great theater occurs. The reason why I'm passionate about all of this in Redhouse, because if you help enrich the community around you and you help each other evolve, then you're helping your personal community. And that is what Redhouse is all about. It was wonderful to witness all those young artists who were in Redhouse productions early on, who are now fashion designers or performers working all around the country. We're in very difficult times at the moment. We all know this. I'm literally doing this video without any pants on. But I cannot wait for the time when Redhouse can go back to doing what they do best, which is making art. The activity of theater has lasted for many thousands of years. As long as you have the need to hear stories and to tell them, Redhouse will remain. Peace.
Our artistic mission as artists and as a community should be to work together. You inspire someone when you lift them up, when you show them their own possibilities, when you have faith in their future. When we start rehearsals, we stand in circles because no one person is better than anyone else. We are all in this together, regardless of race, gender, or sexual preference. Though we may not be in the theater now, I have faith that someday we will. And our strength through these difficult times will only embolden us to be even better artists when we return. That day when the ghost light goes out, the colored lamps ignite, and the words and music of the theater once again fills our hearts.
On March 20th of this year, Governor Cuomo issued a statewide order closing all non-essential businesses, which included theaters such as Redhouse. Now, it's just impossible to get anything done.
Yeah, I know a little something about that.
You do?
Yeah, I was in Congress for 8 years.
Good point. Anyway, I was at Redhouse directing a wonderful production of August Wilson's Fences. We had just finished our first week of rehearsals. I had most of the show staged, and we were all looking forward to opening night, but the coronavirus had other ideas.
Mm-hmm. Following state and local orders, the production was forced to first suspend and then eventually had to be canceled.
But tonight, we have two special guests, Marcus Naylor, who plays Troy, and Chrystee Pharris, who plays Rose. And they're here tonight via Zoom to do one of their scenes from August Wilson's classic play, Fences.
Fences by August Wilson. Act 2, Scene 2. It is 6 months later, early afternoon. Troy enters from the house and starts to exit the yard. Rose enters from the house.
Troy, I want to talk to you.
All of a sudden, after all this time, you want to talk to me, huh? You ain't wanted to talk to me for months. You ain't want to talk to me last night. You ain't want no parts of me then. What you want to talk to me about now?
Tomorrow's Friday.
Know what day tomorrow is? You don't think I know it's Friday? My whole life I ain't done nothing but look to see Friday coming, and you got to tell me it's Friday?
I want to know if you're coming home.
I always come home, Rose. You know that. There ain't never been a night I ain't come home.
That ain't what I mean. And you know it. I want to know if you're coming straight home after work.
I figured I'd cash my check, hang out at Taylor's with the boys, maybe play a game of checkers.
Troy, I can't live like this. I won't live like this. You living on borrowed time with me. It's been going on 6 months now, and you ain't been coming home.
I'll be here every night of the year. That's 365 days.
I want you to come home tomorrow after work.
Rose, I don't mess up my pay. You know that. I take my pay and I give it to you. I don't have no money but what you give me back. I just want a little time to myself. Just a little time to enjoy life.
What about me? When's my time to enjoy life?
I don't know what to tell you, Rose. I'm doing the best I can.
You ain't been home from work but time enough to change your clothes and run out. And you want to call that the best you can do?
I'm going over to the hospital to see Alberta. She went into the hospital this afternoon. Looks like she might have a baby early. I won't be gone long.
Well, you ought to know. They went over to Miss Pearl's and got Gabe today. She said you told them to go ahead and lock him up.
I ain't said no such thing. Whoever said that is telling a lie. Pearl ain't doing nothing but telling a big fat lie.
She ain't had to tell me. I read it on the papers.
I ain't told him nothing of the kind.
I saw it right there on the papers.
What'd it say, huh?
You told them to take him.
Then they screwed that up, just the way they screwed up everything. I don't care what they got on the paper.
Said the government sent part of his check to the hospital and the other part to you.
I ain't got nothing to do with that if that's the way it works. I ain't made up the rules about how it works.
You did Gabe just like you did Corey. You wouldn't sign the paper for Corey, but you signed for Gabe. You signed that paper.
I told you I ain't signed nothing, woman. The only thing I signed was the release form. Hell, I can't read. I don't know what they had on that paper. I ain't signed nothing about them sending Gabe away.
You said, send him to the hospital. I said, send him to the hospital. You said, let him be free. Now you done went down there and signed him to the hospital for half his money. You went back on yourself, Troy. You're going to have to answer for that.
See now, you been over there talking to Miss Pearl. She done got mad because she ain't getting Gabe's rent money. That's all it is. She liable to say anything.
Troy, I seen where you signed the paper.
You ain't seen nothing I signed. And what she doing got papers on my brother anyway. And Miss Pearl ain't doing nothing but telling a big fat lie, and I'm going to tell her about it too. You ain't seen nothing I signed. That's it. Say you ain't seen nothing I signed.
Troy, that was the hospital. Alberta had the baby.
What she have? What is it?
It's a girl.
Well, I better get down to the hospital and see her.
Troy.
Rose, I got to go down to the hospital and see her. It's only right. What's the matter? I mean, the baby all right, ain't it?
Alberta died having the baby.
Died? You say she's dead? Alberta's dead?
They said they done all they could. They couldn't do nothing for her.
The baby. How's the baby?
They say it's healthy. I wonder who's gonna bury her.
She had family, Rose. She wasn't living in the world by herself.
I know she wasn't living in the world by herself.
The next thing you're going to want to know is if she had any insurance.
Troy, you ain't gotta talk like that.
Yeah, it's the first thing jump out your mouth. Who's going to bury her? Like I'm fixing to take on that task for myself.
I'm your wife. Don't push me away.
I ain't pushing nobody away. You just give me some space. That's all. Just give me some room. Some room to breathe. All right, Mr. Death. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take and build me a fence around this yard. You see, I'm going to build a fence around what belongs to me. And I want you to stay on the other side. See, you stay over there until you're ready for me. Then you come on. Bring your army. Bring your sickle. Bring your wrestling clothes. I ain't gonna fall down on my vigilance this time. You ain't gonna sneak up on me no more. When you're ready for me, when the top of your list say Troy Maxon, that's when you come around here. You come up and you knock on the front door. Ain't nobody else got nothing to do with this. This between me and you, man to man. You stay on the other side until you're ready for me. You stay on the other side of that fence until you're ready for me. Then you come up and you knock on the front door. Anytime you want, I'll be ready for you.
Hi, this is Trey Anastasio from the band Fish, and I just wanted to thank all of you who are considering supporting the Redhouse Theater. I know it's really tough times right now, but being someone who grew up in a theater-loving family, I believe that live theater is incredibly important it helps promote a different perspective than our own normal perspective, and it reminds us that we're not alone, and promotes social discourse and literacy and change, and those are all the things that we need right now. So I think theater is very important. So I just wanted to send this message saying thank you for all of those of you who are considering supporting the Redhouse Theater in these tough times, and be safe, and hope everyone is safe and well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Samara Hanna, Executive Director for Redhouse. Redhouse is a gem here in the downtown Syracuse community and has been a part of my family's personal growth for so many years. You know, my kids were just 2 and 3 years old when we moved to the central New York area, and the arts offering here became an immediate draw for my family as we settled into our new community. And since then, we continue to enjoy the rich cultural offerings, including museums, theater, live music, and so much more. And now that my kids are both in college, they continue to look to the arts for enjoyment in their respective college communities. As the executive director of Redhouse, I know that so many people feel the same way and look to our programs, live theater, arts-based education, for their personal lives. Especially in these most difficult times, the arts open our minds, offer perspective, and take us away from our daily worries, even if just for a little while. We are grateful for this great facility that allows us to continue some of our work while other theaters remain completely closed. Thank you to all of our Redhouse supporters who have encouraged us to remain resilient over these past several months. We are here because of you and for you. We hope that you will all consider supporting us, ensuring that we can continue our work, make a difference through the arts, and provide an opportunity to grow.
It has been over a decade since I walked through that little red door between Armory Square and West Side. And since then, Redhouse has evolved with tremendous growth, providing a platform in our community and energizing the collective strength of artists to raise the bar and broaden our limits and embrace our rich and vibrant culture. Most pivotal has been the education program. It continues to provide a safe space and nurture the hearts and minds of our younger generation, and to come together to explore and learn and use the art form as a way of expression. Live theater is transformative in so many ways, so let's hope that we continue to celebrate its creative presence with renewed goodness and a true spirit of paying forward. Thank you.
The Redhouse story is one that truly embodies what America is all about. This young, scrappy, startup little theater, seating only 89 people, was founded back in 2004 to bring professional theater and the arts to downtown Syracuse. It soon found a following by producing challenging plays and musicals that engage the community and push the limits of the imagination. As the education and main stage programs began to grow, Redhouse soon realized that the little guy needed space to spread its wings. So in 2018, Redhouse took a giant leap of faith and moved into its new state-of-the-art facility on South Salina Street. This brought renewed vibrancy to the heart of downtown Syracuse. The little guy had now found its new home. But even though its house may be a bit bigger, the spirit of that little theater still lives on in its outreach and education programs. Redhouse continues to bring arts-based programming to thousands of students each year to enhance their learning and overall school success.
As the past board president, I was privileged to sit on the strategic planning committee that conceived what is now the new Redhouse. With great community support, we were able to hire theater designers, acoustic designers, architects, and engineers to put together a terrific set of plans. Our contractors then took these plans and built us a state-of-the-art theater complex. What you may not know is that this is the second state-of-the-art theater complex on the same site. 100 years ago, in 1920, the RKO Theater opened. At the time, it was the vaudeville center. All the great acts came here and played. The likes of Jack Benny, Fanny Bryce, Al Jolson, and even the great Houdini. And with the Lowe's Theater half a block to its north and Paramount Theater half a block to its south, it anchored what was known as the Syracuse Theater District. Now, the Redhouse is a community jewel, which is still being polished. And together with the landmark, we want to bring back the Syracuse Theater District. And every time I walk into this building, I feel a little awe, but a lot of pride in what we've done so far. And I'm sure there's a lot more to come. Thank you.
This past year, Redhouse reached more than 50,000 people, with 30% of our audience coming from outside of the central New York footprint, bringing much needed tourism dollars to our community. The theater can have such a positive effect on the entire economy of downtown, including the restaurants, retail shops, and parking garages.
I have been on the Redhouse Board of Directors for about the last 6 years. I've seen the Redhouse grow from a small theater located on Fayette Street to a multi-theater, state-of-the-art facility now located in the middle of downtown Syracuse. It has become an integral part of downtown Syracuse's revitalization and the art scene in central New York. The Redhouse now draws upon artistic talent from around the country and exposes central New York to theater that is on par with Broadway. Redhouse is a gem. It's a treasure in our community that we must all do something to preserve, cultivate, and protect.
Hunter asked me to reflect a little bit on how much Redhouse has grown. So to give you kind of a time frame, in 2000, a group of artists got together and decided that we wanted to create some kind of space in Syracuse for people to tell their stories, to share their stories, artists and audience alike. So we worked, and by 2004, we raised some money and we renovated a funky little space on West Street, a 3-story brick building, and we opened with our first performance with, I think, 89 seats. We had very uncomfortable wooden benches and a very small playing area with 2 posts right in the middle of the playing space. But nevertheless, we persevered and we earned the nickname of the little theater that could. But the thing that was great about what we were doing is that we always had a sense of integrity, and we always had a sense of intimacy. Nobody could hide. The truth was always what was told in that little space. And I remember getting frustrated towards the 3rd or 4th year of production when people would say, where do you work? What do you do? And I would say, oh, you should come. It's on West Street. It's called the Redhouse. And they would say, you mean that little red door? I always wondered what went on behind that little red door. So it became clear that we really wanted to reach more people. And obviously, Redhouse today has grown immensely. Now we have a state-of-the-art facility with 3 theaters on Lange Street. We're a forerunner in arts education. I think we reach a much wider and more diverse audience. The secret is out. Redhouse is reaching more people. But the wonderful thing is that the core mission remains the same, which is to tell the truth and to be accessible to people of all walks of life and to encourage people to exchange their stories and celebrate human beings.
Right now, we want to give a shout out to the Syracuse Specialty Surgery Center of Central New York for sponsoring tonight's event. And also to Solon Quinn Studios for putting together these incredible videos.
Now, listen, you can still go on our website, that's theredhouse.org, and still donate. Every dollar counts, no matter how big or how small.
Now, we all know that the folks in Syracuse are resilient.
Well, they would have to be. To live in sub-zero conditions 8 months out of the year?
No. You have to come back in the summer. That's what they always say. Next year, that will be July 13th. But you know, 2020 was a very tough year for us all, but especially for bars and restaurants and museums, and of course, theaters. Redhouse was forced to cancel 2 of its shows. First, Fences, and then the world regional premiere of the hit Tony-winning Broadway musical Fun Home, which, by the way, was going to star my daughter, Mariah Grandy, in the role of Helen. We got a chance to open one of Redhouse's first shows when we did On Golden Pond together. But I'm told that Redhouse still plans to produce Fun Home sometime in the future, and you got to go and see this kid. But tonight, a little preview. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present the real talent in the Grandy family. Here is Mariah Grandy singing Days and Days from Fun Home.
Welcome to our house on Maple Avenue. See how we polish and we shine. We rearrange and realign. Everything is balanced and days and days and days, that's how it happens. Days and days and days, made of lunches and car rides and shirts and socks and grades and piano, and no one clocks the day you disappear. Days and days and days, that's how it happens. Days and days and days, made of posing and bragging and fits of rage. And boys, my God, some of them underage. And oh, how did it all happen here? There was a time your father swept me off my feet with words. We read books, strolled through Munich at night, drank beer with friends, discussed the places we would go. And he said, I understood how the world made him ache. But no, that's how it happens. Days made of bargains I made because I thought as a wife I was meant to But no, that's how it happens. Days made of bargains I made because I thought as a wife I was meant to, and now my life is shattered and laid bare. Days and days and days and days and days and days and days. Welcome to our house on Maple Avenue. See how we polish and we shine. We rearrange and realign. Everything is balanced and serene. Like chaos never happens if it's never seen. Don't you come back here. I didn't raise you to give away your days like me.
The arts gives us the opportunity to engage our communities, to share our stories, to learn from each other, and most importantly, to connect. Since Redhouse's inception, connecting with others to share stories and uplift the community has been at the root of all programming.
This past November, Redhouse's education department strengthened our long-standing partnership with Hillside Family of Agencies, working together to bring our annual Fall Young Voices project on tour to middle schools throughout the city. Our students performed a unique, devised theatrical piece for their peers about self-love and rising above discrimination that celebrated diversity, inclusivity, and identity. Students not only performed, but connected with their audience members, leading journaling activities and talkback sessions with our middle-level students surrounding the themes of their show.
I think it's important for kids to actually come out of their comfort zone and express themselves in ways they can't do in actual school. So they won't think they're getting bullied at Redhouse because it's like a second home to a lot of people. This is actually the first theater I ever first acted in before my school. I think it's like the best place to go to express yourself and to be yourself. It's like a place you can go to be you and not somebody you want to hide, or like just be yourself. And it's good for you to be an actor there or singer. It's just a fantastic place to go to.
Open Hand Theater is a nonprofit arts organization that offers hands-on, project-based learning experiences to children of all ages in the art of puppetry, mask making, and multicultural theater traditions from around the world. Last year, they moved into Redhouse's South Salina Street facility, developing joint programming alongside our education department. The partnership between our two organizations has allowed all our outreach and curricular initiatives to further develop in cultural diversity, artistic versatility, and community engagement.
One of our most long-standing connections that is celebrating its 8th year of partnership this year is our partnership with Arc of Onondaga, a local organization that celebrates all abilities and brings advocacy and joy to the people they support.
I'd like to talk first about the theater program. This program is a 3-part endeavor, which starts with the workshop, then goes into rehearsals, and then into the main performance. And it goes so much beyond just theater. They instill creative thinking to the people we support. And through that creative thinking, there is a discovery process that happens. And in that process, the people we support become not only who they are, who they want to be, who they can be anyone they want. And that is so important to get rid of all the chains and everything that keep people so enclosed within themselves. The Red House affords us that opportunity. They are interacting with other actors from the community, from the professional world who have been brought in, and they treat them like any other person. That is innovative, and that is where we need to go. And thanks to the Red House, we're there. And I am forever thankful for the opportunity to speak on their behalf of the incredible things that they have done and hopefully will be doing in the future for Arc of Onondaga. We are truly blessed, and I just say from the bottom of my heart, I am privileged. I am very, very, very happy with the services provided by Red House, because I see it in the faces of the people we support. I go into a rehearsal and I am bombarded with, hey, are you coming to my play? When are you coming? What day? Where are you sitting? You can't teach that. That is unbridled joy, and I'm forever grateful to the Red House for providing that. Thank you.
The pandemic has caused many of us in the theater industry to rethink how we program and connect with our audiences. This past spring, we launched our virtual weekly online show called Red Talks, which included cast reunions, behind-the-scenes discussions, and virtual play readings. Red Talks also allowed us to have panel discussions about the social and economic issues that are now facing our country. They've been thought-provoking, enlightening, heartfelt, nostalgic, and almost always glitchy as we theater artists navigate the technical maze of producing live content. But if there's one positive to take away from the pandemic, is that our new virtual show, Red Talks, is here to stay.
Over the past 6 months, the entire world has been affected by this pandemic in ways we never thought imaginable.
But there is still a light at the end of the tunnel. Indoor dining is returning, shopping malls are reopening, and sporting events are adapting to this new world. Unfortunately, theater and the arts are still being held in limbo.
Yeah, you're right, my brother, but you and I both know the effect the arts have on any community is immeasurable, and especially in downtown areas like Syracuse, where Armory Square and the entire downtown area were thriving before the coronavirus. But if we all do our part, if we social distance, if we wear our masks, if we wash our hands and avoid the rose garden, I'm sure that I soon will resume my stage career, which I now call Gopher at Twilight.
And I can't wait. Just think of all the shows we still have in us. Waiting for Godot,
right?
The Sunshine Boys.
And of course, Shakespeare.
What Shakespeare?
Two Very Old Gentlemen of Verona.
I'm in.
All right, dude. Ask again for the donations.
No, listen, I've already asked twice. Why don't you ask this time?
All right. Please go to the redhouse.org to get more information about how you can give to Red House. Wow, you show business types are so sensitive. And speaking of sensitive, here's Hunter.
I just want to thank Fred and Ted for hosting the show. You guys are great. Apparently there are some Love Boat action figures out there, some Gopher and Isaac action figures. So if anyone sees those, you can send them to me, 400 South Salina Street, the Red House, because I want them. Now, like many of you, I was forced to stay home during the pandemic, but the silver lining in all of this is that it allowed us to attend 1,000 Zoom reunions of high school or college or some play you forgot you were in when you were in 4th grade. But it also allowed you to connect with family, sometimes socially distanced in the backyard, where I would meet my father, his girlfriend, my brother-in-law, Ted, and my sister Sutton and her beautiful daughter, and my niece, Emily. So here tonight to do a little something for Red House is my sister, Sutton.
There's a house in my head under permanent construction. I'm the lone architect of an imaginary house. There's a room for the dark things, the panic and the fuss. an attic for the past things that hang over us. There's a room for the elephants, a den for the ghosts, a parlor for when we pretend to be hosts, and a light I leave on every night in the blue, 'cause I'll always save a room for you. Yeah, I'll always save a room for you. There's a house in my head under permanent construction. I'm the sole carpenter of an imaginary house. I'm building the place with sails, wheels, and wings, portable roots, and detachable strings. Get back here and we'll live like movable kings, ancient and new. See the light I leave on every night till you do. 'Cause I'll always save a room for you. There will always be a room for you. So come home. Come home. We are home.
Hi, I'm Joe Lee, General Manager of WAER, and I support the Redhouse because they're such an integral part of the cultural landscape of Syracuse, and they're fantastic people.
From the moment I first got to Redhouse, I could tell that it was unlike any other theater I've ever worked at before. As an actor, it's so important to me to find a safe place that I can trust my instincts in order to be creative, and Redhouse certainly provided that for me. It is so important to the community because Redhouse really cares about the arts and the performances that they are bringing to Syracuse. At Redhouse, the staff and the crew become your best friends. You know, you're not just a patron, you're family.
And on behalf of One Group, I just want to say how proud we are to support Redhouse. Redhouse is a really important part of this community, obviously for what they do for the arts and theater, but also for what they do for the community at large. The recent initiative of building a learning lab to help school-age children and their families during this pandemic is going to be a tremendous help to this community. In addition, what they do for the community at large is significant. Their work with the Arc of Onondaga, with the Hillside family of agencies, their work with the Golisano Children's Hospital and the Girl Scouts are tremendous initiatives that support everyone in the community. So thank you, Redhouse, and we're proud to be with you.
I'm a huge fan and supporter of the Redhouse, not only as a corporate sponsor, but also as a personal donor. One of the things I really value about the Redhouse is its unique way that it connects the community and connects the ties to the region that we're in. They're always finding ways to do things and support our youth as well as support our community that we couldn't really create anywhere else. So I hope you get out there and you support the Redhouse like we have, and I have personally. And congratulations on another great year, and I'm looking forward to you doing even bigger and better things.
My first exposure to Redhouse was when my son was cast in a play. I have been to Broadway shows over 50 years and countless regional productions, and Redhouse blew me away. Their teaching students through the arts program is amazing, and I am extremely proud of this organization. In order to continue to provide these excellent performances and services to the community, we need your donor support. Thank you.
And Anheuser-Busch has been supporting Rockin' the Redhouse for nearly a decade now. The Rockin' the Redhouse fundraiser helps provide scholarships to kids to attend the rock and theater camps at the Redhouse. These scholarships provide an opportunity to kids that otherwise may not have had a chance to enjoy the arts and music. And on a personal note, me working for Anheuser-Busch who supports the arts and supports our brewery band, well, that's music to my ears. So check out the Redhouse and enjoy the arts.
Redhouse brings professional theater and arts-based education to our community. Its impact on Central New York and the city of Syracuse has grown to reach more than 50,000 people each year, plus thousands of virtual and online reaches. Each year, we bring artists and audiences to Syracuse from as far away as California, North Carolina, Michigan, Texas, and New York City to promote tourism and bring new revenue into our region. Additionally, Redhouse brings arts-based learning to thousands of school students every day to help raise their test scores and increase overall school success and graduation rates. We offer unique programs that are truly inclusive, serving people living with disabilities, at-risk youth, and those living below the poverty line in our community. Theatrical productions discuss societal issues and promote a conversation and shared perspective to address important issues. And we bring 30% of our audience into Central New York from outside our region. We inspire and educate. The arts are proven to stimulate creative thinking, which fosters innovation, and for students, it makes learning more fun. And all of this is made possible because of your support. Opportunity to support. Redhouse is a not-for-profit and fully relies on support from donors like you. Donations of all sizes make a huge difference, especially during these difficult times. We thank those who have already helped us meet our challenge grant of $20,000, where your donations have been matched dollar for dollar, giving Redhouse a total of $40,000 in funds. There's still time to donate, and we still need your help. Every single dollar counts. Please visit theredhouse.org to donate now. Thank you.
We pray for patience. We pray for time. We pray for God to walk beside us as these hills get ever harder to climb. We pray for wisdom and peace throughout the land. And when we fail God, as we will, we pray He'll understand. We are only human, but we try. We pray that God will see us, really see us through every truth, through every lie. We pray for knowledge and guidance from above as we navigate this life, the day-to-day of hope and strife. Most of all, we pray for we ask forgiveness and guidance from above as we navigate our way through all the pain we feel each day. Most of all, we pray for love. Most of all, we pray for love.
That was Nikki Renee Daniels singing Laura's Prayer, music and lyrics by Georgia Stitt, who also accompanied Nikki on the piano.
Well, Fred, this has been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot
I
of fun.
enjoyed it.
It's always great to see you, my brother.
Well, listen, Fred, next time, brother man, let's do it in person.
Sí. Hasta pronto, mi amigo. That's for the foreign market.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. We'd like to thank Samara Hanna, Executive Director of Redhouse, Artistic Director Hunter Foster, Education Director Peggy Mitchell, and Marketing and PR Director Sue McKenna for having us here.
And now comes in the sweetest part of the evening. Has everyone got their cocktails?
Ah, my friend, I couldn't wait for this. Yes.
I can't believe I still have some left.
Yes. Well, here's to the Redhouse.
To the Redhouse, to everyone who helps the Redhouse, thank you and have a great evening.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight for Ain't It Grand. I have to say it was a lot of fun putting all this together. I'm a theater person, and all of a sudden, as many artists out there, as many theater people, we're learning how to be producers, television and movie producers. So I just want to thank especially Tony Vidala and Shane Patterson and Solon Quinn Studios and Sue McKenna, who really sort of worked tirelessly to put all those videos together and to create all those packages, which were it was just incredible to see all this stuff and to see all the footage. It's not as easy as it looks, but and in fact, this was much harder than putting on a actual show on the stage. So I just want to thank everyone so much for putting all this together, and we had really a great time putting this together for you tonight. I know that there was our website crashed. So, which is a good thing because we had so many people trying to access our website that our website crashed. And that's the first time that's ever happened. So it's a good thing because people were trying to access and coming on our site and trying to donate and couldn't donate because it crashed. What are you going to do? So please keep trying. If you're out there, please keep going back to our website and trying tonight. Hopefully, with not so many people trying to get on at the same time, people can make donations. We had some really great, a lot of really, really great donations tonight. And I wanted to give a special shout out to Dallas Bryson, who's from Syracuse and donated. So Dallas, thank you so much for your donation. And we had a $1,000 gift tonight, which I'm not going to say who it was, but it's just thank you so much. But it's not just $1,000 gifts; it's a $25 gifts, it's $50 gifts, it's whatever you can. And hopefully, we told our story tonight about the things that we do for Syracuse and a town which I've grown very fond of, except for the months of January and February, which are coming up. But the rest of the year is quite wonderful. It's a great, great town. But so anyway, go on to our, you can email us at info@theredhouse.org. info@theredhouse.org. Write it down. I'm waiting. info@theredhouse.org. And please, if you want to donate, please leave your name and your number. We will call you back tomorrow and we can take your donation. We're sorry that everything sort of crashed tonight, but you know, with everyone trying to get on at the same time, I guess it's a good thing. So please go, the info@theredhouse.org. Leave your name and number. We will call you back tomorrow and gladly accept your donation. Every theater around the country needs your help. We are still not getting the support that we need. And we're still not allowed to open, and we can't survive without your help. So please help us any way that you can. And hopefully we will all get back on stage soon, because it's been 7 months and I really, really miss it. And I miss going to shows on Broadway. I miss seeing shows in Syracuse. And we want to do whatever we can to get back on stage. So please donate. Please try tonight at theredhouse.org. If you can't get on our website, please email info@theredhouse.org. Leave your name and your number. We will call you back. And who knows, maybe Fred Grandy will call you back, or Ted Lange will call you back, or who knows we'll call you back. But we will make sure that we get your donation. And thank you so much. And we did find those action figures. So Fred did email me a picture of the Love Boat action figure. Who knew they existed? But I want one. And if you do have one out there, please let us know. And you can always email me at artisticdirector@theredhouse.org. Thank you so much. And I want to thank James and Seth for all that they do. We really need people like that who support not only the Broadway and actors in New York, but theaters across the country. And we can't do this without people like them who are so generous and allowed us to come on Stars in the House tonight. So thank you so much. Be safe, wear your mask, vote, and we'll see you soon. Thank you and have a great night.